Fuego del Sol says, "You know how to do all this math, fool. Just work hard. Come on now. Don't make me do the Hurricane DDT, because I will." Spiral Review 7, problem number 1. A real estate company received a check for $23,000, $710.40. How is this number written in expanded notation? Well, the first thing I would do is I would write it out in standard form, number form. So I know I have 23,000. So I'm going to have the 10,000s and the thousands place. That means I'm going to have hundreds, tens, and ones. And since it's money, a check, I'm going to have two numbers behind the decimal point. And if I start and I break it down, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but if I break it down piece by piece, I have 23,000 and then $710.40. Now the 4 has to go here, and then it'll be a 0 there. So if you fill out the rest of this, that's going to make your answer easier to find here. Spiral Review 7, problem 7. 1,452 shirts were delivered to a large department store. They came in boxes with 4 shirts in each box. How many boxes were delivered? Let's think. First, we're not going to have 1,452 boxes. So my answer has to be less than 1,452. That's my total answer. I know 1,452 is my answer. So how do I have to get that answer? Well, I'm going to multiply x times 4. So what times 4 would give me 1,452? Well, I don't know that off the top of my head. The inverse operation for multiplication is division. So I could divide 1,452 divided by 4. Now, obviously 4 is not going to go into 1. It does go into 14. So I'm going to have a 3-digit quotient. I'm going to have a number in the ones place, tens place, and hundreds place. I always start 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. And 4 times 9 is 36. Once I've written all those out, that's the most difficult part of my division. So I want to get as close to 14 as I can without going over. If I look, I have 4, 8, 12, 16. 16 is too big. So I'm going to go back up to 12. And 4 times 3 is 12. So the 3 is going to go there. Then I subtract. And I'm going to have to see how close to 25 I can get without going over. So now you can finish solving the problem. Spiral Review 7, problem number 3. Calculate the quotient of 864 and 24. The word quotient is the answer to a division problem. So this is telling us to divide 864 and 24. So we have 864, and we're dividing that by 24. I've already done my multiples of 24 from 1 to 9. 24 doesn't go into 8, so I'm not going to have a number in the hundreds place. 24 does go into 86, so I'm going to have a two-digit quotient. two-digit quotient. I'm going to have a number in the tens place and a number in the ones place. If I look, I have 24, and I want to get as close to 86 as I can without going over. Well, that's 24 times 3, because that's 72. So I'm going to have a 3 in my tens place. And then I'm going to subtract. I'm going to get 14, and I bring down and make it 144. Oh, I've messed up somewhere. 6 times 4 is 24. This should be 144. My bad. This should be 144 there. So then I would see how many times 24 goes into 144, and that's going to be in my ones place. So you finish. I got you started. Spot Review 7, problem number 6. Which of the following shows how to find the value of this expression? 7 times the difference of 18 and 9. We always start with the parentheses. In the parentheses, we have 18 minus 9. When you're subtracting, the answer to a subtraction problem is called the difference. So we're finding the difference. The difference of 18 and 9. Once we know the difference of 18 and 9, then we're going to multiply that by 7. So we're going to find the difference of 18 and 9, and then we're going to multiply that by 7. Problem number 4, Spot Review 7. Mr. Harris used the cards shown below to model a number for his class. According to this information, which best describes the number Mr. Harris modeled using these cards? Well, I'm going to look at it here. I'm going to find the biggest number first. The biggest number is 50, so it goes out to the tens place. So I know I'm going to have, and then a decimal point. Now, it goes out to the thousandths place is the furthest it goes here. I know it's 50 is in the tens place, and I know 4 is in the thousandths place, and I'm sure you could figure out the rest. But then, once you have it written in standard form, you got to figure out which of these works. We know it goes out to the thousandths, so my answer choice needs to say in thousandths. And we know at whatever 50 something and, so it's got to say 50 something and. It can't say 50 and, it's got to say 50 something and, which eliminates 2 of your answer choices for you there. Problem number 2, Spot Review 7. Lenny traveled 872 and 45 thousandths miles in 1 week for work. He rounded this amount to the nearest tenth for his expense report. What is this number rounded to the nearest tenth? Okay, so I have 872 and 445 thousandths. I have to identify the tenths place. I have a place value chart in my journal, and obviously this is going to be the place. I'm either going to add 1 or 0 to this, and I can tell by looking behind it. If the number behind it is 5 or greater, I would add 1 to the tenths place, which is my 0. If it's 4 or less, I would add 0 to my number. But remember, these back here are going to be 0. These here are going to stay the same. So you really don't even need to include these at all. You only need to go out to this far, and the ones in front they have to be there. The ones behind do not. Spot Review 7, problem number 8. Which list shows the numbers not in order from greatest to least? So important here is the not, and the important here is the greatest to least. So there's only one that is not greatest to least. The other 3 are greatest to least. So the process I would use, and I'm going to just look at A, the process I would use, I would write them down lining up the place values. Okay, so I wrote them down. I'm just doing A. I wrote them down. I line up the place values. Now I want them, this one goes out to the thousandths, and this one goes out to the thousandths. I want them all to go out to the thousandths. So I can add these zeros here, and it's not going to change the value. Now I would start at my greatest place value, which is the ones, and I would see that they're all the same. My next greatest place value is the tenths. The tenths is where I have my first difference. So it's going to be one of these two numbers is going to be my greatest. And the next one would be my second greatest. And then we're down to here to see what my third greatest is. But all you got to do is go one place value at a time. You're going to have to go through all of these until you find the one that is not in the order from greatest to least. Not in the order from greatest to least. All right, spot review 7, problem number 12. Which comparison is not true? Which comparison is not true? Much like the previous problem that we did, we're going to write them down lining up the place values. So these all go out to the ones place. So I'm going to say ones, tenths, hundredths, and then thousandths. And we're looking for the not. So if I take A, and I'm only taking A, and I make it 4.486, and then I look at 4.386, and I'm trying to see if 4 and 486 thousandths is greater than 4 and 386 thousandths. If I look at my ones place, they're the same. I look at my tenths place, this is different. The one with the 4 in the tenths place is the biggest one, so this one is correct. That means it's not the right answer because we're looking for the one that is not correct. So you would do the same for all three of these and see which one is not correct. If it's not correct, that is your answer. Sounds kind of cray-cray, but it is. Problem 11. Dominique swam 18 laps last week. Each lap was 328 feet. How many feet did Dominique swim in all? Well, if we have laps and feet, I could go one lap is 328 feet. 2 laps is 656 feet. And I could keep going, adding a 328 every time here, and I could keep going all the way down to 18. Repeated addition, basically, is what this is. I don't want to do repeated addition. I want to do multiplication. So I could do 328 times 18. Now, I always estimate first. So if I wanted to estimate this, I might make it 330 times 20, because I can do 33 times 2. 33 times 2 is 66, plus we have 2 zeros. So my estimate is around 6,600. This is my estimate. I can multiply it the standard algorithm. I can do 300, 20, and 8. Multiplied by 10 and 8. And then I could fill in those boxes. For example, if I did 300 times 10, it would be 3,000. Okay, so I can go through that, do that all together, and then add each of these 6 boxes together. I could also go 328 times 8 and 328 times 10. So that's different ways I could do it. I'm not going to solve it. I need you to solve it. But you can do it standard algorithm. You can do it the box method. Or we can break this factor into, we can decompose this factor into 10 and 8. Because the 1 is in the tens place and the 8 is in the ones place. Problem 20. A degree of longitude is widest at the equator with a distance of 69 and 172 thousandths miles. What is this distance rounded to the nearest tenth? So we're rounding it to the nearest tenth. Rounding it to the nearest tenth. You have your place value chart in your journal. So if I'm going to write it down, and 172 thousandths, so 69 and 172 thousandths. The tenth place is immediately behind the decimal point. So I'm either going to add 1 or add 0 to the tenths place, and I look behind it into the hundredths place. Since the hundredths place is 5 or greater, that means I'm going to add 1 to the one that's there. So I would have 69 and 2/10 would end up being my answer. 69 and 2/10. Boom! Shakalaka, peace out. God bless. Love you. Do something kind today. Save the bees, please.